Danielle thought she was buying a concert ticket for $120. She clicked once, then twice, and her total became $178. Same seat, same show, same moment. No, this is not a scam. This is not a glitch. This is the fine print economy doing exactly what it was designed to do. Because somewhere between the price you saw and the price you paid, a tiny line of text quietly pulled a lever. A service fee, a processing fee, a delivery fee, a facility charge, stacked like pancakes, each one small enough to ignore, until the stack is taller than your patience. And here's the part that should bother you. If Danielle tries to complain, the system has an alibi. It will point to the checkout page and say, "You agreed to it. You just did not notice the sentence that made it legal. I am the receipt detective. This is case file 001. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you the exact line that did this, rebuild the receipt dollar by dollar, and give you a simple playbook so the next time you buy tickets, you do not get ambushed at the final click." Danielle is 27. She lives in Dallas. She is not a high roller. She is not chasing VIP. She just wanted one normal night out. The ad said tickets start at $120. That number felt safe. It fit the weekend budget she keeps in her notes. $120 for the seat, maybe another $20 for parking, and she is done. That is the story she told herself as she typed her card number. Then the checkout page loaded. The seat was still $120, but underneath it, the page quietly added, line after line, service fee, order processing, delivery, taxes. Some of them were flat. Some were percentages. None of them were explained. In plain English, each one was small enough to look harmless. Together, they turned her night out into a 48% surprise. Danielle stared at the total and did the thing we all do. She looked for the back button. She looked for another site. She refreshed. The same fees came back like they were glued to the screen. And that is when the real question shows up. If the seat is $120, why is the ticket $178? To answer that, we are going to start like detectives. We need the receipt, we need the policy, and we need one sentence in the fine print that gives these fees permission to exist. Danielle did not miss a secret checkbox. She did not unlock some premium option by accident. She did what the platform wanted. She followed the big button that said continue to checkout, and at the very bottom, in light gray text, smaller than the footer links, there it was. Exhibit A. Fees are not part of the ticket price. Additional service. And processing fees apply per ticket and per order. Fees are non-refundable. Read that again. It is not saying you might pay a fee. It is saying the fee is a separate product. A second bill that rides on top of the seat price. This one line does three things. First, it changes the meaning of the number you saw. 120 is not the ticket. It is the bait number. Second, it gives the platform legal cover. When you ask why the total jumped, it can point here and say, "We told you fees apply." You proceeded. Third, it blocks your easiest escape route. Non-refundable means if you cancel, you lose the fee, even if the event never happens the way you expected. So now we have our culprit sentence. Next, we rebuild the receipt like a crime scene timeline. We start with the seat price. Then we add each fee, one by one, and we watch the total climb from 120 to 178. And once we see how the math works, we can beat it. Let us rebuild Danielle's checkout the way the system built it. Start with the number that made her click. Ticket price, $120. That is the seat. That is what the artist is selling. It feels like the whole story, but the platform treats that number like the cover of a book. The real book starts on the next line. Next comes the service fee. Most people assume a service fee is a flat fee, like a toll. It is not. It is often a percentage of the ticket price, meaning the more expensive the seat, the more money the platform makes, even though the work of processing your order did not suddenly become harder. So if the service fee is, say, 20%, that is $24 on top of $120. Now your $120 ticket is already $144. Then comes the processing fee. This one sounds like a bank fee. It sounds unavoidable, But it is usually another layer that is charged per order, sometimes per ticket, sometimes both. If it is $5 per order, we add $5. Now, $144 becomes $149. Then comes the delivery fee, even if the ticket is digital, even if nothing is delivered to your house. This fee is often framed as a convenience cost for mobile entry or electronic transfer. If it is $3, add $3. Now, $149 becomes $152. Then taxes. Depending on where the event is, taxes can hit the ticket price, the fees, or both. Let us keep it conservative and say 10%. Applied to the taxable portion. 10% of $152 is $15.20. Now, you are at $167.20. We are not at $178 yet. That missing gap is where the fine print economy gets sneaky. Facilities fees, venue charges, order handling, insurance prompts, charity add-ons pre-checked, little lines that feel too small to argue with. Next, we find the exact lines that filled that gap and pushed Danielle all the way to $178. Now, we go after the last $10.80, the part that feels too small to fight, but is the entire trick. The first one is the facility fee. This fee is framed like the venue is charging you to exist in the building: lighting, staff, security, the bathrooms, the floor you will stand on. And sometimes that is partially true. But what matters is what this fee does to your brain. It separates pain from the base price. If the platform raised the ticket from $120 to $128, you would feel it. You would hesitate. You would compare. You might leave. But when it adds a facility fee of $7.50, the platform can say it is not us. It is the building. It is the system. It is the way things are. So we add it. $167.20 plus $7.50 becomes $174.70. Now we are close, which is exactly where the fine print economy loves to finish the job, because the final fee is usually the one that feels the most ridiculous. Not because it is big, but because it has no clear meaning. Order handling, payment processing, transaction fee, platform fee. It is the fee for the fee. Let us say this one is $3.30. $174.70 plus $3.30 becomes $178. And now the case is no longer emotional. It is mechanical. You saw $120, but the checkout was built like a staircase. A percentage fee that grows with the ticket price. A per order fee that hits you, even if you buy one ticket. A delivery style fee that exists even when nothing is delivered. Taxes that apply after the stack is already taller. Then a facility charge that moves blame away from the platform. Then a final handling fee that is basically the closing toll booth. The exact labels can change. The exact numbers can change. But the architecture stays the same. And once you see the architecture, you stop asking why it happened. You start asking who designed it that way and how to avoid stepping on every stair next time. So who designed the staircase? Because this is not random. It is a business model. When you see a ticket listed at 120, that number is doing marketing work. It is the bait price that gets you to click. It is the number that spreads on social media. It is the number you tell your friend. It is the number the artist can publicly point to and say, I kept it reasonable. But the platform does not want its revenue trapped inside that one number. Fees create a second stream of money that can be increased quietly, adjusted by market, and defended by policy. And here's the part most people miss. Those fees are not always just the platform's money. Often, the fees are shared across the whole chain. The venue wants a cut. The promoter wants a cut. Sometimes the artist wants a cut. Sometimes the platform keeps more because it controls the checkout. Sometimes the venue calls it a facility fee, so it looks separate. But the result is the same. Everyone gets to raise the total without raising the headline price. This structure also reduces resistance. If the seat price jumps, you blame the artist. You get angry. You stop buying. If the total jumps because of 5 small fees, your anger gets scattered. You do not know who to yell at. The platform can say, that is the venue. The venue can say, that is the platform. The system stays clean. And finally, the fees protect the most valuable thing in the ticketing business: urgency. A clean ticket price makes you move fast. A messy fee stack hits you after you have invested time, after you have picked the seat, after you have pictured yourself at the show. By the time the total is painful, you are already halfway committed. That is the motive. Now we build the defense. Because you cannot change the industry today, but you can stop walking up every stair the next time you buy. Defense Kit starts with the simplest truth. You cannot fight the staircase after you are already on the top step. You win before the checkout. So here are the quick fixes that stop the worst surprise totals. First, never fall in love with the first price you see. If you see tickets starting at $120, treat it like a headline, not a receipt. Before you pick a seat, open any listing that shows an estimated total, or click into checkout once just to reveal the full fee stack. You are not committing. You are scouting. You are doing recon. The goal is simple. Find the real multiplier. If your $120 becomes $178, you just learned that the real multiplier is about 1.5. That means every seat you look at needs to be multiplied by 1.5 in your head before you get excited. Second, check for official seller links. A huge part of the fee problem comes from hopping between platforms that add their own layers. Many events have an official venue site, an official artist link, or a primary ticketing partner. If you start from the official source, you reduce the chance of stacking extra platform fees on top of already bad fees. It does not always save you, but it often saves you from the worst version. Third, set a hard out the door cap. This is not budgeting advice. This is psychological armor. Before you click checkout, decide the maximum total you will pay, all fees included. Then write it down, not in your head, on a note, on your phone. It sounds silly until you see what it does. When the total shows up, you are no longer negotiating with emotion. You are comparing a number to a rule you already made. And if the total breaks the rule, you leave. That one habit alone stops the fine print economy from winning by momentum. Next, we move from quick fixes to smarter moves that cut the fee stack itself, not just the shock. Now the smart moves. These are the ones that actually reduce what you pay, not just how surprised you feel. Smart move 1. Stop shopping by seat price. Shop by total price. Most people filter tickets by the number they want to believe. Under $150. Under $200. But the filter is almost always based on the base ticket price, not the out-the-door total. So you end up clicking the same bait over and over. Instead, do this. Pick the worst multiplier you saw during your recon and work backwards. If your cap is $180 and the multiplier is 1.5, your real seat cap is $120. If the multiplier is 1.4, your seat cap is about $128. This one step saves time, and it stops you from emotionally committing to seats that were never truly inside your budget. Smart move 2. Use timing to beat urgency. The fee stack is powerful because it hits you after you have pictured yourself at the show. The way you break that spell is by removing the pressure clock. If the event is not tomorrow, do not buy on the first day just because you can. Watch the inventory. Watch the price changes. Many shows have waves of supply. Some seats appear later. Some prices soften when the initial hype cools. The fee structure stays ugly, but the base price you are paying those fees on can drop. And since many fees are percentages, lowering the base price lowers the fee dollars too. Smart move 3. Compare the primary and the secondary market, but only after you reveal the full total. This is where people get tricked. They compare a $120 ticket on the primary site to a $145 ticket on a resale site and assume resale is worse. But if the primary becomes $178 at checkout and the resale becomes $170 at checkout, resale was cheaper, even though the headline number looked higher. So the rule is simple. Never compare headlines. Compare totals. And one more smart move that feels small but matters. Buy with a plan, not a panic. If you need 2 tickets, price the total for 2. Some fees scale per ticket. Some fees are per order. That means the effective fee per ticket can drop when you buy multiple at once. Sometimes buying 2 together is cheaper per ticket than buying one now and one later. You do not need to game every detail. You just need to stop walking in blind. Next, we go to the pro move. The one that gives you leverage when the fees feel unfair and you want a clean, simple way to push back. Here is the pro move. Stop treating the checkout page as the only door. For many shows, there are multiple legitimate doors into the same seat. The venue box office, the venue's official site, the artist's verified link, sometimes even a phone order line. Not always, but often enough to matter. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is one thing: find the door with the fewest fee layers. So before you buy, do a 2-minute verification loop. Open the venue website, look for tickets there, and compare the out-the-door total. If the venue has a box office option, check whether in-person pickup avoids delivery-style fees. If the platform is unavoidable, you at least confirm you are not paying extra layers to a middle door. You did not need. That is how pros cut the staircase down before they climb it. Now we close the file. Verdict: Danielle did not pay $58 more because she was careless. She paid $58 more because the checkout was engineered to hide the real price until the last moment. The headline number was $120. The real number was $178. The difference was not one fee, it was a staircase. Fine print score for this case. 8 out of 10. Not because fees exist everywhere. This score is high because the system uses multiple layers, mixes percentages with flat charges, and pushes the painful truth to the final click when you are most likely to surrender. Here is your receipt detective checklist. Screenshot this. Step 1. Treat the listed price as a teaser, not a total. Reveal the full fee stack before you pick a seat. Step 2. Calculate your multiplier. If a $120 ticket becomes $178, you are shopping with 1.5. Use that multiplier to set your real seat cap. Step 3. Compare totals, not headlines. Primary versus resale, 1 ticket versus 2, venue site versus platform. The cheapest looking option is often the most expensive at checkout. Step 4. Set an out the door maximum and write it down. If the total breaks the rule, leave. Case file 001 is closed. If you have a receipt that made you say, "Wait, how did this get so expensive? Tell me what happened," in the comments, or drop the numbers. Price you saw, total you paid, and the fee that shocked you. I am the receipt detective. See you in the next case.